Hello and welcome to today's video. So on the workbench today, we have the Pack Sniffer 2. So over the long Thanksgiving weekend, I was able to put in some time, actually finished assembling the other ones. I don't know if you remember, they didn't have displays on them yet. So they're all built up, machined the boxes, which, could have been better, but I think in the future I might end up 3D printing the boxes because it takes an awful long time to machine them. I mean, they're okay. I mean, they're going to get the job done. I mean, people probably aren't even going to use the case. They're just going to mount it somewhere. So anyways, but now that I got all the hardware done, I need a way to test it. And this is the Pack Sniffer 2 hardware test setup. So what we've got here is the Nissan Leaf contactor assembly. This is actually out of a 2011, so it's different than the ones I'm going to be running in my truck. So it got sacrificed to become the test hardware. So you'll see we get the pre-charge, got positive, negative contactors. We have some pots in here. This one adjusts voltage. This one adjusts current, because inside here is one of my little servo controllers, and it speaks CAN, and it is running the code that'll eventually run in the in my version of the Nissan Leaf battery management system, the BMS board itself. So we've got that in there. We don't really care about the voltages and currents, just to check to see if CAN bus is working. We have both the power lines coming in to LEDs so we can tell if they're powered, and then the BMS itself, well, the board that's replicating the BMS is on the ignition line, charge ignition line. So you'll see when it pops up, it'll click that on, and then power that up, and it'll start working. Then we've also got the expansion box here for the extra I/O. There's a couple relays in it to the sync and source driver, and then a couple pots for the analog ins. So go ahead and load it. Oh, I've got another cable here. Just because you see I've plugged into this side, but I don't have anything plugged into the other. I only have one of these assemblies, so what I'll do is I have two codes, one for testing this side, and then another bit of code for testing the other side. And because I got to physically swap them out anyway, I figured I'd just do it that way. Makes it easier. But we can go ahead and hook that one up after we do this. So I'll go ahead and turn it on here. And I still have the little protection film over the display, so it makes it look weird. But we are going to load the test code, which runs this connector here, using the bootloader. I should have went and changed the config to make it go through this really fast, but So the display slowly fades in because I'm checking the PWM. Oh, when that little star came on is when it turned on the this guy, and you can see the LEDs are powered. And we've read out, if we adjust the voltage, the pot, it'll change. But now we're doing our contactor tests. So you gotta listen to sound. Then we're going to do these guys. They're very quiet. And now we're reading the pot, so let's see if I get it on the display here. You can see I can 0 volts, 12 volts, 0 volts, pretty close to 12, 11.97. Within 1%, I used 1% resistors, so should be close enough. So we gotta turn that back down. No, I'll just leave them wherever we want. And yeah, so that's definitely working. So now we're going to power it down, and I'm gonna pause it, and I will switch to the other cable, keep it in there, and we'll throw in the other micro SD card. So I turn this off here and pause it. Okay, so welcome back. I've gone ahead and swapped out the SD cards. We're now on this connector. No longer got the other one plugged in, and plugged this back in. We also have the serial port hooked up over to, we've got putty running over here for the serial test, and we're ready to power it up here. We'll have to go through the boot loading stage again. because I put the new card in there. But this tests everything, make sure that the SD card's working. Everything, boost converter, we're definitely running off the boost converter. And yeah, just make sure everything's functioning before we ship these things, because even though the firmware is not available yet to take advantage of everything, it's getting there. But I want to make sure that the hardware is all working for those that really want these before software is available. So we're going to fade in again, and when that little star happens is when we turn on the power to the simulated BMS there. And I'm going to go ahead and check our contactors again. I don't have any visual indicator, I just have to go by sound. Now we're ready for the serial test. And you can see I've printed over here. This tested at work, type something to echo back, so echo's working. And it looks like Windows had something in its buffer, but probably when it first came up. Probably should send a clear command over, but anyways, yeah, that looks like it's all working. So I consider this up and running, and this guy's good. I got a few more back here to test, and then yeah, fix anything that might be wrong with them, and yeah, ready to go. So I'll go power it down. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye.